Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. We had news come across the thing. I saw Molly Holly trending on Twitter. Clicked on there, and wow, as a surprise, Molly Holly added to the 2021 WWE Hall of Fame class. Now, I come with a lot of questions here, more than I have answers. It's not that I don't think Molly Holly deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I think you go back, you watch my Beth Phoenix video from a couple of years ago. I kind of thought, hey, I kind of thought that Molly Holly would get in before we got Beth Phoenix in, but you know, that's just whose number they punched, and that's who went in that year. I saw the other day they sort of have a schedule for WrestleMania. It looks like Hall of Fame is going to be on Tuesday. They're going to go Monday Night Raw on Monday. They're going to go Hall of Fame on Tuesday. NXT, I think, is getting Wednesday and Thursday. And then we've got something Friday. I don't remember what the hell that is. But then I guess we would have WrestleMania take place Saturday and Sunday with the 2-day event. Going to take over all of... oh, dumbass. Hey, Friday SmackDown. To take over all Tampa that whole week and just basically run wild. If you're not scared of Corona, if you got your vaccine, you're good to go. It looks like it's going to be one hell of a time to go out there. I don't know if they're going to do access this year. I've heard that WrestleCon is going to be doing some stuff. So there's not going to be huge crowds. There's not going to be huge lines. I think if you want to go out there and you're able to do it, this might be one hell of a year to do WrestleMania with, you know, a fraction. Even if it's half the amount of people in that town, it's going to be easy to get around to everything and everything like that. But get down to business here. Beth Phoenix. No. Molly Holly going into the Hall of Fame. You know, what are we doing with last year's class? Are they just in? They're not going to get an actual presentation. It's just, hey, we announced them. Let's just say they're in. Normally they announce kind of a Hall of Famer, like a main event Hall of Famer first, I guess you can say. Like last year we had Batista as well as the NWO announced first day. Now it's just like Molly Holly's in there. So is she being added to that class, or is she kind of like going in for somebody else? Like maybe they're not going to do the Bellas because they have young kids. They don't want to bring them to Tampa, something like that. So like I said, there's more questions than answers here. But Molly Holly, I first noticed her in WCW when she was Miss Madness. She came out wearing a sash. She was part of the Macho Man Randy Savage's team, which was Gorgeous George, Medusa, and Miss Madness. I don't really remember her ever really wrestling there, so I don't really know why she was signed to WCW. But then the second that she left and went to WWE, and she showed up as Molly Holly, joining the Holly cousins. And then, of course, they would have the huge feud with the Dudleys, based over if Spike Dudley could date Molly Holly. It was kind of like one of those old feuds from you know, that just goes generations past. They just described it as the Hollys and Dudleys have never got along. But although Spike and Molly loved each other, you know what it is. But I thought it was funny right off the bat that Molly had this sort of stigma about her, that everybody knew she could wrestle, even though we never really saw her wrestle in WCW. So it kind of just drew like what the heck she was doing there. She was just a good-looking girl on Macho Man's arm, a part of her army. Maybe she went in there and she kicked somebody every once in a while or something like that during one of Savage's matches. But I'm not really quite sure. She did a lot of great things. She was the woman's match for WrestleMania 20 with her and Victoria, where she actually, you know, went balls to the wall, and got her head shaved, which was a huge deal for the women. I don't know if that's where it would put her over the top. I wasn't watching wrestling at the time. WrestleMania 20, the DVD, when I bought it at a used video game store, was sort of what got me back into watching wrestling, to get ready for WrestleMania 21 is when I just got back in. But, you know, Molly, you know, I don't remember really why she left. One of the last things I can remember her doing was the superhero gimmick with the Hurricane. The Hurricane was really over with me. Really dig that dude. I don't really remember her doing a whole lot of wrestling at the end. I just sort of remember that feud with the Dudleys in them. But for the longest time, she sort of held that women's division together, and deserves to be going into the Hall of Fame.